everyone, Chloe here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers, welcome. So I wanted to make a video on why women cheat with married men. And I also will use this video to share my hypergamous thoughts on the recent side baby headlines for the popcorn eating masses that most recently have been making their rounds to promote what will surely be another New York Times best-selling book for Mrs. Gabrielle Union. And comment below if you could forgive the love of your life for betraying you and having a side baby on you when you've been struggling with fertility issues. But I wanted to make a How Men Think video to have a conversation on what is often a very common phenomenon. Because as a femininity influencer, I get a lot of strawberry letter emails and a lot of secret DMs, not shockingly, from women who are involved with married men and who are involved with men who basically belong to someone else. And there are so many women who are willing to treat themselves as the understudy to a wife or as low-hanging fruit, or they are willingly treating themselves like the prize in a Cracker Jack box. And sometimes these women will know that these men are married right from rip. And sometimes these women will be lied to and deceived. But eventually, him having a wife will not matter when her feelings are in way too deep. Now, falling in love with a married man or an unavailable man is actually very common and happens to women from all walks of life and happens for all sorts of illogical reasons, as having an affair with a married man is not logical. And with many women or men who get caught up with a married person, the bond that they share with this person will often become a nasty trauma bond and or a nasty soul tie. So in most cases, these nasty entanglements where two people are playing with fire, these entanglements will have to play themselves out, and usually it is the woman who ends up completely feeling broken and used. But when dealing with a married man, you must ask yourself this question: how will this relationship story end for me? And if you are a married woman or a woman who has been betrayed or cheated on, leave a comment below. But in most cases, when an affair has taken place, not only will things not end well, but most women and even sometimes men who cheat with married people will end up in a heap of devastation due to the lack of what most women and men who cheat with married people are hoping for, which is a perfect happy ending where he will leave his wife for you and where you will win the booby prize, which is him, or in Jada Pinkett's case, her. But 99.99% of the time, it just doesn't happen that way. And here are 13 reasons why. Number 13, most men don't initiate divorces. Because when a man gets married, the thought of going through a divorce and or having another man around his children, if there are children in this marriage, will make him want to vomit. Not to mention the financial obligations, alimony, child support, and basically paying his ex-wife to go away. And usually when it comes to money and having to dish it out to an ex-wife, it can be an awful blow to a man's ego. Number 12, men who cheat on their wives are basically looking for a thrill and or to stroke their egos for some worship. And yes, a cheap thrill can turn into a nasty entanglement where both parties can get caught up and emotionally overwhelmed in their feelings of lust. But lust, ladies and lurkers, although it can mimic the feeling of love, is not love. Number 11, men who cheat, oddly enough and very hypocritically, do not trust the women who are willing to cheat with them. In his mind, if you are willing to betray yourself and the girl code of sleeping with another woman's husband, he will not think highly of you, your judgment, or your character. And when a man has a low opinion of your character, simply put, he would never trust you with his life, and you will never have the number one spot or the number one pole position over his wife. But as long as he gets to use you and your body for free, he will never tell you what he's really thinking about your character. Number 10, married men who cheat are usually finessed and skilled at cheating. They are masters of flattery, charm, acting innocent, playing the blame game on their wives, and they will gas up a woman's ego if that is what it will take for her to drop her drawers. For cheating husbands, cheating is about the thrill, the chase, and the conquer, but it will never be about chasing love. Number 9, a married man who perpetually cheats is disloyal by nature. If he isn't loyal to her, then how can he be loyal to you? There is no loyalty, absolutely no loyalty in cheating, which is why most wives are devastated when there is infidelity. It is the lack of loyalty, the betrayal, and the disrespect that will speak volumes about a man's character. So as a mistress, you will not win with a man who has very, very low character. Number 8, married men who cheat lie. And as my grandma would say, they lie like a rug because they can. So whatever he is telling you about his wife, that she's fat, she's lazy, she doesn't cook, she emasculates him, she doesn't do this, she doesn't do that, will be partly true, but mostly outright lies. There are many men who are smart enough and who are cunning enough to know that some women have very powerful egos and that some women like competing with other women. And a cheater will sometimes even be cunning enough to have you prove to him that you are a better catch than his wife. And women fall for that competitive and comparative game all the time. Number 7, if a married man has an open arrangement or an open marriage with his wife, he will still consider you a conquest, a side piece, and a concubine. Do not dupe yourself into believing that you will have equal footing to his wife. You won't, and you will never. Number 6, women fall for married men for all kinds of reasons. They have low self-esteem, poor boundaries, they're selfish and they don't care about hurting others. They're in competitive and comparative mode by competing with the wife. Or sometimes a woman can just be depressed, so she's looking to self-soothe. Usually women who cheat with married men are not the most confident or the most self-assured. Number 5, eventually your heart will desire to have a man all to yourself, and it will frustrate your ego to be relegated to side chick status. The hiding, you being a secret, his unavailability on important and meaningful days, and the glaring smack you in the face reality of your positioning will make you feel jealous, insecure, and just downright depressed and sad. Number 4, you don't ever want to end up becoming the desperado chick who ends up calling the wife and airing out her husband's dirty laundry. His wife will not leave him just because you have chosen to put him on blast. Cornering a married woman with the truth of what she probably already knows will not make her leave and will only frustrate you more. Number 3, and this will ruffle some feathers, but if you choose to hunch on a married man, he should be paying you for your time, and yes, I said it. Otherwise, you will feel completely used up when he gets bored or goes cold, which typically happens when you start demanding more, or when he's ready to dump you because what was once some good old dirty gratifying fun has now become a complete stress-inducing high-maintenance headache, and you are the headache. Number 2, women who sleep with married men and unavailable men are chasing. And that could be a pattern of dysfunction that can be traced back to your childhood neglect, abuse, and of jumping through a circus ring on fire to receive love from your parents. If that is the case, I highly advise therapy. And number 1, married men usually will have the gift of gab, but the truth of who they are will always be in their actions. If they haven't walked away from their marriages by filing for divorce before you met them, then they will never be serious about you, and they will drag you to kingdom come as long as you allow it. Now, as a sidebar, in Gabrielle Union's case, my thoughts are that nothing sells like a good headline, as she has been married to Dwayne Wade at this point in time for over 7 years, and their bond and their marriage seem to be in a good place, and she seems to have found a way to forgive her husband for his devastating betrayal. So in spite of the very triggering headlines, my guess is that his betrayal for them as a married couple is now water under the bridge. Hot water that Gabrielle will finesse and sell as tea to make herself a New York Times best-selling author. while laughing all the way to the bank. And what Gabrielle Union is selling is relatable, as a woman being publicly honest about her dirt will always be more relatable, as all women will have relationship struggles, and at some point in their lives will be forced to learn how to understand the concept of forgiveness. It doesn't have to be cheating, it could be something else, but not understanding forgiveness can be an incredibly miserable prison. So that is all that I have to say on this for now. Sleeping with a married man or a married woman will always be a guilty pleasure gone wrong, because eventually someone in that equation is going to lose and or go tick tick boom, and everything that we do comes with consequences whether we like them or not. So ladies and lurkers, who is more at fault when it comes to cheating? The husband who is responsible for upholding his vows, or the woman who is running interference by competing with a wife for her man? And will there always be women who are more than willing to be low-hanging fruit for unavailable men and married men? And as always, I look forward to reading your amazing responses below, and stay tuned for more cautionary tales to come, and I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.